Hey guys, Clumsy here, back for another flight with the A320neo because the FlyByWire Simulations team has released a major update again for the A32NX project. It's now in version 0.3.0. So we're currently setting up the plane. We're going to do a test flight. We'll be checking out what new stuff are there, and I will be posting the complete changelog. In the video description, there will be a link to that complete changelog. It is pretty comprehensive. There are so many changes. We'll try to go through the major ones, but we'll do a test flight and we'll see how it feels, how it looks. For those who are wondering, Cebu Pacific livery is made possible by the Liveries Mega Pack. As always, all the mods I'm using, all the plugins, all the liveries, they are in the mods list, and the link is in the video description. So enjoy. Anyway, alright, looking good. Catering services, baggage services look like they are done. GPU is connected. Inside the flight deck here, you see the doors are open still, but that will change soon enough. The iris is aligned. I've left that on. Looking good here. Should be able to start the APU soon. APU page activating automatically. We'll be waiting for the flap open. These are updates from the previous version, I believe, 0.2.0. Now there is a huge watch out before you guys try this out. I'll share that later. Start the APU here. That should climb up. The EGT should climb up soon enough. And then the percentage here should also climb bit by bit. I think that's new. The dynamic limit for the EGT, you see that orange line, that might be new. Anyway, as always, you guys will help me out, right? Help me out if I missed something, if something is inaccurate, or you would like to provide more context. You are more than welcome to do so. But I'll try to point out some of the changes that I see compared with the previous version. Now granted, I don't really fly a lot of airliners. I try to stay away from them in the meantime, but we'll see. We'll see how it works. Constraints there, those are not really constraints. If you compare that with the flight plan, there are no real constraints here. For example, in Jofer, there is no strict constraint. But how the plane works right now, I think it just plans out some altitudes for the autopilot system and then uses those as pseudo constraints in a way. Anyway, alright, so APU is almost ready. Once that reaches around 100%, that should be available. You'll see a couple of new ECAM messages here. So many new messages. And now they put the right messages on the right side. Before everything was on the left side, so it is more accurate now. There you go, even the APU available is listed now on the ECAM right side there. APU is now available indeed. So now we should be okay to turn off the external power without risk of shutting down the plane prematurely. And now we can say to the tower, so that the power supply can end. Right. Let's look outside. There he is leaving. Alright, good. Okay. So far things look good. I think a couple of things I wanted to highlight as well. There were so many changes with the MCDU here. Init page. Let's go to the flight plan. I have everything plugged in. So this is straight from the main menu. So I did a flight plan in SimBrief, saved it as an fs2020.pln file. I loaded it in the main menu of the sim, and everything is plugged in. Here, runways, the departure, Jofer 3 Papa, the destination, the arrival would be Bohol 3 Papa. RNAV 04 approach via Drigo. We'll see if that's what the ATC will give us. But for ATC coverage, I will be using Pilot to ATC, my favorite as always. And we'll see. I'm hoping that they give us an altitude restriction later like pass through like Bohol at flight level 120, something along those lines. But we'll see how it looks, okay? Anyway, so that looks good. Performance, this is something that's new. They can now compute V speeds automatically. You can set your flaps here. Usually we have that flaps 1. The stabilizer, the trim, I'm not sure how to compute that without a calculator. With the Tolis we had a calculator. I'm just going to put in a random number here, which is probably not safe, but let's put that there. Transition altitude here in the Philippines is 11,000. And then for V speeds, you can do is click on the left select keys here. It will compute, and then just click that again. And it will base that on which flaps you set and all that kind of stuff. Now flex to temp is at 20 degrees. That might just be a flat temperature. I don't think that's getting computed yet, so I'm not sure if that's safe to use. But this one is being automatically calculated, the thrust reduction altitude. So depending on the runway length, there are certain factors which I'm not very familiar with, right? The managed speed for climb, I believe that's automatically set V2 speed plus 10. Yeah, 138 is V2, add 10 and that's the climb speed. Alright. I think that looks good. And we'll worry about the approach later. Okay? I hope this works. Phew. Alright. APU is good. We have power. Let's go ahead and request for our IFR clearance. I actually forgot our call sign. We are Cebu Air today. The flight number is 594. Okay, I should not forget. Cebu Air 594, ready to copy IFR clearance.
Cebu Air 5904 is cleared to Romeo Papa Victor Mike, fly the JUF 3P departure, with the JUF transition, then as filed. Expect departure runway 23. Climb to 4,000 feet via the departure.
4,000 is pretty low.
Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 3365.
3365. Let's have our co-pilot read that back.
Cebu Air 5904 is cleared to Romeo Papa Victor Mike, fly the JOFE 3P departure with the JOFR transition, then is filed. Climb to 4,000 feet via the departure. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 3365.
3365.
Cebu Air 5904 rearback correct. QNH is 1011. Let us know when you're ready for pushback.
QNH is 1011 Cebu Air 5904.
What I find strange is that these radio frequencies, even the squawk here, they're blank right now. That happened to me a couple of times already. And I'm not sure if I missed anything here. But there seems to be a bug sometimes. There we go, now they're back. The numbers are back, at least for the radio, and then they're gone again. There they are. They are blinking in and out of existence. So might be one of the bugs. And then there's the ATC also. Might be a couple of factors involving that, but for now they are back sometimes. Alright, anyway, let's leave that as is. Okay, looks good. Cebu Air 5904 ready for pushback and engine start.
Cebu Air 5904 pushback and engine start approved.
Pushback and engine start approved, Cebu Air 5904. Good. Alright, let's turn on our beacons before we do anything else to signal everybody below on the ground that we are going to move soon. There are the beacons. Let's also get rid of the jetway. I do have my ATC voices in the assistant settings turned off. That helps a lot with the ground services, so when you click something it just immediately goes. You don't have to wait for the voice anymore. But okay, that looks good. So let's go and press Shift P for the pushback. And let's make sure also on our end that the parking brakes are off. That looks pretty good so far. Let's see, did I miss anything? Flight director's on. Now, normally, the normal procedures would expect you to follow the checklists here. And that would ensure more or less that you did not miss anything critical, but I am a bit winging it at the moment, so we'll see. I do notice that the beacons from the pushback are still seeping through the flight deck here. They fixed a couple of those issues already, but I think for the pushback itself, that's still a work in progress. Anyway, let's leave that as is. Okay, I forget always to turn on the APU bleed and the fuel pumps. There we go. Now we hear that nice whine of the air conditioning in the bleeds. Mission start. Engine page automatically activates there in the ECAM, the lower ECAM. Start engine 1. Let's have a look outside. There we are. Let's steer the pushback to the left. You notice that the pushback is immediate when you have ATC voices set to off. Manually start the Airbus A320neo's engines without using assistance. Oh, cool. Why didn't I get that before? Interesting. Alright, that looks pretty good. I can stop the pushback. I can take it from here. Awesome. Much easier to maneuver. Set the parking brake. Engine 1 looks like it's pulling up fine. You notice a new ECAM annunciation there. Predictive wind shear off. I'm not really familiar with that feature. You do see the hydraulic PTU. And now you hear the dog barking. That signature barking. Unfortunately, the hydraulics page is not yet implemented. That would have been nice to see the PTU working there. What is the PTU? Power transfer unit, was it? It's doing a test there, transferring from the left to right. Different hydraulic systems, different colors. I'm not really an expert on those quite yet, but what I know is that we need to start engine 2 and stop yapping. Okay, predictive wind shear off. That is over here. Currently, I think it's only a dummy. Doesn't really do anything, but when you enable that, put it at the auto, it does disappear. So let's just put that there. Weather radar, since we are clear of people here now, I guess there is no risk for radiation for the ground crew. Start up the weather radar and we can see a couple of cells in there. Looks scary. Not sure if I want that enabled. Flights in 2020 is a bit exaggerated when it comes to the clouds. As long as you have clouds, you detect something in there, which shouldn't be the case. Not all clouds are thunderstorms. But anyway. What else did they add? Did they add this chrono thing? No. They still have the chrono here. Reset it. Stop and then reset. Yeah, that works. Right, we have 2 good engines. Perfect. Let's taxi to runway 23 then. Cebu Air 5904 ready to taxi.
Cebu Air 5904 taxi to runway 23, hold short runway 23.
That's very descriptive. Taxi to runway 23, hold short runway 23, Cebu Air 5904. Let's turn on our taxi lights here. Seatbelt signs are on. APU can go off actually. Bleeds and master switch can go off. And I hope that the engine doesn't die on us if we did everything correctly. Right? Parking brake is off. Off we go. Oh, one new thing. If you look in the PFD, the, what do you call that? That thing that detects where your side stick is, that was not there before if I remember correctly. So now you can see it when you're on the ground. Very, very helpful, especially during takeoff when you have to apply forward pressure on the side stick. And now you can also see the boundaries and check your flight controls that they're working. Why are we not moving though? There we go. Just needed a bit more of a push. And it's speaking of flight controls, let's turn off that one. Put the mode to normal. That should switch to flight controls very soon, automatically I think. If not, we can do that. And now you can also click again on the... Oh, there we go, on the wheel. Click again on the page to put it back to default. It's very helpful. Crawling here. Just checking my flight controls a bit. You can see in the ECAM page that they are working. Yes. Pitch trim, let's put that up a bit. 0.2. Let's move the wheel. There you go. And now this is something new. The takeoff memo, like a checklist, semi-checklist. So auto brake set to max. Cabin check. Inform the cabin crew. And we go arm the spoilers. Set the flaps to takeoff. And last but not the least, takeoff config, test it out, and you should hear some very nice voice from the pilot.
Cabin crew seats for takeoff, please.
I love that. That is amazing attention to detail. This makes you really feel like you're in a proper flight deck. Alright, stop here. Bit short, but okay. Cebu Air 5904, holding short, runway 23.
Cebu Air 5904, this is Davo Tower on 118.1. Please repeat your request.
It didn't get me. That's the problem with these speech recognition thingies. Cebu Air 5904, holding short, runway 23, ready for departure.
Cebu Air 5904, winds are light and variable, cleared for takeoff, runway 23.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 23, Cebu Air 5904. They understood me. It does feel a bit heavy because the weights on this plane in particular, we are quite full actually. Plenty of people on board, which is I guess not very realistic during these times, but one can hope. There's back taxi in here. Did not give us back taxi instructions, but I would do that on an airliner. That makes sense, right? The strobes are on auto, so that should be fine. QNH, let's make sure that that is set to local QNH. There you go. And let us also plan out the TARA on the TCAS. Oh, there's now a cockpit door thing as well. You can lock that, put that normal, or unlock it. I don't think it does anything in the actual doors, but quite nice. Slow down. Slow down. There we go. So we make a loop here. And then we depart. Now, should I use the flex temp that was given, the 20 degrees? A bit. I'm a bit hesitant to do so. They did also fix the toga thrust. If you guys remember before, whenever you go and push toga, the thrust would be kind of oscillating, kind of 100% and going down, and you would hear it in the engine. It's like it's sputtering, which did not sound very healthy. They fixed that supposedly, so I guess we can test it. Let's go full toga and check if the engine will still hesitate. Right, here we are, runway 23. Looks pretty good. Line ourselves up. Oh, that looks perfect. Alright. Okay. You guys ready? Let's do this. Holding on the brakes. 50% thrust. Stable. Push forward on the stick. Go to full toga. Try to maintain center line here. The departure that we will be following requires us to turn right. 80 knots, check. 100 knots, releasing the forward pressure on the stick. V1, rotate. Keep it steady. Oh, that's heavy. But we are doing it. Positive rate, gear up. And the ground spoilers disarm. Looks good. Can I turn on autopilot immediately? Let's see if that will work. I noticed that autopilot pitches up insanely in the beginning, which is a bit weird. I noticed that a couple of times already. So I would not enable autopilot
Cebu
immediately.
Air 5904 climb and maintain 10,000 feet.
Lever climb annunciation there on the
Cebu Air
BFD and FMA.
5904 contact Mactan Center on 127.5. Have a good morning.
Center on 127.5 Cebu Air 5904.
Let's turn right here. Yeah, so still quite buggy when it comes to that. When it comes to the takeoff, I think. I've done like 3 takeoffs already. All of those are having the same problem. Right. That looks good. Flaps up. And now it should fix itself. Now we can go autopilot. Or maybe not. Yeah, it's still pitching up insanely. Look at the cells there. Okay, now it's working. Yeah, that's the buggy part. Anyway, let's go and tune into the frequency they gave us, otherwise they will follow up with us. Yeah, so for me, takeoff is still a bit of a mess. But might be missing some steps there. Let's leave it there. So many wrong things happening, and look at all those cells. That looks scary. Center Cebu Air 5904 at 5,700 feet.
Cebu Air 5904, good morning. Radar contact. Climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Cebu Air 5904, slow to 250 knots or less.
Wilco, Cebu Air 5904. Man, that's scary. Hopefully these clouds aren't as violent as they look in the weather radar. Let's go and climb here. There you go. So still a bit of tuning in the autopilot from what I see, unless I missed some very important steps, which is not that impossible given that I skipped through the checklist. After we clear these clouds, I'll turn off the seatbelts. Just make sure that we're not going through something really heavy here. Man, that weather radar looks scary. Let's turn that off. How are the constraints looking like? At or above 5,600, at or above 16.4. If you look at the flight plan, you see A+ there. Okay. Looking good.
Cebu Air 5904, climb and maintain flight level 160.
Climb and maintain flight level 160, Cebu Air 5904. Alright, let's see if that will work. So we are climbing to flight to 10,000 feet initially. It's still not working. See, I moved it to flight level 160. Ideally, it should continue climbing, but here I have to continue pressing it before it climbs again. So I think that is still a work in progress. So whenever you move the altitude, you still have to press it. Which should not be, we should not be constrained here. because that's an at or above restriction. So yeah, I think still maybe an open climb would be better in such cases. Still not perfectly polished. I think the autopilot, the team is waiting on Asobo to fix things. But we are climbing, right? Yeah, we have stopped climbing for a bit because we are speeding up to 320 knots here, and then we'll continue our climb once we reach that target indicated airspeed. There you go. Now we're continuing our climb. I am seeing some weird temperatures there. Why would that be overheating? There we go, the AGT is getting to normal again. Scary. Okay. Scary clouds as well, but beautiful though. Beautiful for the photos. Not as good with the flying. Crossing flight level 100. Not that one. Standard, that's the one I wanted. Good. Can turn off the landing lights here. Looking good. Alright. Let's continue our climb. Oh my goodness, that looks beautiful. Now, is the oscillating thing still there?
5904 climb and maintain flight level 220.
Climb and maintain flight level 220, Cebu Air 5904. Let's set that up before we reach the altitude. And this time I'm going to push on it so that it reflects. Even though I think in reality you shouldn't need to push it, but you guys feel free to correct me. Ah, beautiful clouds here. My goodness. Let's look at that. Yeah, if there is something this sim can do properly, it's the visuals. That looks so realistic. Oh my goodness. Sorry, just really enjoying this. Okay, so yeah, I'm not really an airliner kind of guy, but I do appreciate all that stuff. Everything looks good here. Okay. It will be interesting once we get to the near the arrival, near the approach. Then we'll be able to see if the altitudes will work, because there is an item in the changelog, something along not sure what the term they used is, but something like primitive altitude support, altitude restriction support, or something like that. So we will test it out later here. We'll plug in an altitude, see if the plane can follow it. If we just go with managed descent, that means the plane will take care of the descent for us, and we'll plan how steep the descent is, how fast we descend based on the flight plan. So if we change the flight plan, will it also follow it? We will test it out later, if we're lucky. Anyway, I'll continue this climb and I'll bring you guys back when there is something cool. Hopefully nothing disastrous. Wish me luck. Oh, that's a beauty. My goodness. Whew, the visuals. The visuals are amazing. Unfortunately, it looks like the weaving here in this plane is still there. You can see it bobbing left and right there, like we're in a boat, kind of rocky waters. So I think that will be, hopefully Asobo fixes that, because I believe that's more autopilot related than anything else. So we'll see if that happens in the next patch. Now this is, as I'm flying, this is patch 2 still, build 1.8.3.0, which introduced a major bug in the form of the phantom issues that people have been experiencing. If you haven't heard of it, phantom issues, this is the issue when there are planes in the vicinity. They tend to, like, the controls seem to like cross over Like if the other plane turns off their batteries, your batteries also turn off. Something along those lines. So there are a couple of workarounds in the community. The one that has been working for me the best so far is turning generic planes to on. In the graphics settings, there is an option. There are two options, generic planes for AI and generic planes for other players. I set both to on and it seemed to get rid of those issues. And I highly recommend you do that in the meantime, at least before patch 3 comes. When patch 3 comes though, you might be watching that when it's live already. We're not sure what new surprises await us, but I'm hoping it's all for the good. But yeah, we will see. I will for sure be checking out the new patch and we'll see what we will find there. Welcome back, guys. Still beautiful views, although the clouds seem to be thinning out here. Just a tad. Still amazing looks though. Oh my goodness. Alright, so we are nearing our top of descent. I am happy to see that yes, we do have a top of descent indicator there. In terms of pilot to ATC, let me show you the screen. It is more or less consistent with the top of descent. We are getting close there as well. But we'll see how the plane behaves, because I have been trying to understand the flight plan. It looks like the top of descent is somewhere before Yayin, because at Yayin it tells us that we are at it targets flight level 258 already. So yes, exactly, top of descent should be right now, but we'll be waiting for air traffic control for that. What I don't understand is this
Cebu Air 5904 descend to cross Boal at flight level 180, then descend via the Boho 3 Papa arrival with the Boal transition to 4,000 feet. QNH is 1011 at Mactan Cebu International.
That is beautiful, that's perfect.
We'll cross Boal at flight level 180, then descend via the Boho 3 Papa arrival with the Boal transition to 4,000 feet. QNH is 1011 Cebu Air 5904.
So they told us that we have to cross Bohol at flight level 180. So let's see if that works. That doesn't look good. Let's put it 18,000 in there. Not sure why there's a negative, but okay, let's see if that works. And then let's go down to 4,000 feet. Start our managed descent. Descent is enunciated, so that looks good. Engines are spooling down. Thrust idle. And then once we lose airspeed because of the lack of thrust, then our descent should start. Alright, so now the test is, will it follow this flight plan that we set? Will it follow that at Bohol we will be crossing at Bohol exactly, or more or less, at flight level 180? Now that's the question. That would be pretty interesting if it does that, because I don't think it does that by default. But did the A32NX project now include that capability? We will see. For science. Right. No DH. Decision height, that is. So let's have a look at the charts. This is our arrival. Bohol 3 Papa. So there we are. Crossing Bohol at flight level 180 is what ATC gave us. And that's okay because Bohol has an at or above 13,000 restriction. Flight level 130 restriction. So that's okay. Transition altitude here is flight level 130, I guess. Okay. So we switch to local QNH at flight level 130. Alright. So from there, direct roll in and then to Drigo. And then from there would be the RNAV to runway 04, which is this one. Starting from Drigo at 4,000 feet. Tracking 316 degrees at Victor Mike 04 Alpha here at 2,400 feet. Turning right towards the final approach fix, which is this one, Victor Mike 04 Bravo. still at 2,400, and then we start our capturing the glide path, 3-degree descent towards runway 4. Okay, that looks good to me. Now there is a VOR here, 114.3. I do want to see if the VOR tuning works on this plane. I am not sure if that works in the default, but you guys let me know. I assume it should. Let's go there to the MCDU. Radio nav, VOR frequency. There is no ILS here in Cebu, so we won't be using the ILS approach. We'll be doing an RNAV approach. That's using the GPS. So we can use the frequencies here for the VOR instead for additional guidance. 114.3, VOR 1. Does that work? Let's see if that gets captured. Is there any indication that it did? How many miles away are we from the airport? Well, let's monitor that later if that changes. If I go to... let's go here. If I go to VOR, doesn't look like anything has been detected yet. Okay, let's keep it as is. Alright, this is actually looking pretty promising. We'll see, but we're on flight level 220. We are descending at 2,100 feet per minute. We are on managed descent. So we just told the plane we want to descend to 4,000 feet, and it's up to you how we get there, how fast or how slow we get there. And it does seem like it's following the flight plan so far. So flight level 180 is what we put in. So it would target flight level 180. I think it will, based on the current trajectory. That is pretty interesting. It actually works. Because if it works accurately like that, this might be VATSIM worthy already. This might be good enough for proper multiplayer flights. If the FMC can handle that. Well, maybe it's too early to tell. Let's not jinx it. Let's just see how it goes. Right, just going through a bit of clouds here. Nothing heavy, I hope. At least not by the looks of them. We are pretty close to Bohol. Oh, look at that. That actually works, guys. It went to altitude hold because we are nearing 18,000, flight level 180. So it is, even though we told it to descend to 4,000 feet, because we put in an altitude restriction to cross Bohol at flight level 180, it's actually holding that. And now that we are moving to Rollin, the next waypoint is Rollin already, now it's free to go to descent again and go below flight level 180. Oh, that is amazing. Oh, cool. Awesome work, Fly-by-Wire Sims. That altitude restriction is working in its basic sense. Now for more advanced stuff, maybe it won't be that accurate yet, but my goodness, that works. Now, did that work in the default plane? I highly doubt it, but you guys let me know, because as I said, I am no expert in airliners, but I'm really loving this one so far. Things are looking pretty promising. Okay, next waypoint is Rollin, flight level 130. It seems like that is also getting respected, although we are a bit early here. Yeah, it's just holding 130 until we cross Rollin, and then it will continue to descend. Which, maybe I'm reading this wrong, guys. I assume the negative, the minus here, means below 130. But based on what the plane is doing, it seems like it's at or above 130, or exactly at 130 in this case. So am I reading this wrong? What do those minus and plus mean? Let me know if you know differently. But my understanding is it should be below for minus, plus for above. Interesting. Okay. But let's see, let's compare that with the arrival chart here. 130 at roll-in. We don't really have an actual restriction in there, but that's what the flight planner intended for us, so that's okay. Now I do want to plug in the weather at the target. Let's see. So let's go to performance. We are in descent phase, but we do want to go to approach phase here. Now we don't have these.
Cebu Air
information
5904 contact Mactan approach on 121.2. Have a nice day.
Approach on 121.2 Cebu Air 5904. Okay. 121.2. Approach Cebu Air 5904, descending 4,000 feet.
Cebu Air 5904 good morning. Radar contact. Continue descent via the Boho 3 Papa arrival. For the RNAV approach to runway 04 with the Drygo transition at Mactan Cebu International.
Continue descent via the Boho 3 Papa arrival for the RNAV approach to runway 04 with the Drygo transition Cebu Air 5904.
Cebu Air 5904 QNH is 1011 cleared for the RNAV approach to runway 04 with the Drygo transition at Mactan Cebu International.
Nice. We're cleared for the approach.
QNH is 1011 cleared for the RNAV approach to run.
Did I just switch to a different radio frequency? I think I did. 110 at 6. So let's plug that in. 110 at 6 for the winds. Few clouds. Temperature is 27. Altimeter 2981. Can I plug that in? 29.81. Yikes. Not sure that works, but okay. Right, let's go back to Mactan Center here. Let's tell them that we're here with them. It doesn't support the multiple comms at the same time yet, pilot to ATC. So we switched inadvertently. Cebu Air 5904, descending 4,000 feet.
Cebu Air 5904 radar contact.
Good. Okay, so let's turn on the landing lights here. We are below 10,000 feet. Let's prepare. Seatbelt signs should be, yeah, we are pretty close. Seatbelt signs back on. Anything else that I missed? Of course, there are a lot. Auto brake to low. It's a pretty long runway in Cebu. Decision altitude based on the chart. If you look at the chart here, it says the MDA is 410 feet, 410 feet. So 410, put that under MDA. The DH is only for Cat 3 approaches, I think. There is the MDA listed there. We are continuing our descent. Now the final approach fix is 2,400. And we have been cleared for the RNAV approach. So I will set this down up to 2,400. I don't think I need the landing scales. I think that's only for ILS. Yeah. That's weird. It said ILS runway 04. There is no ILS here. There is no ILS approach here in Cebu, as far as I know. Let me double check. Approach. Yeah, there is only an RNAV approach here. So let's go to the radio. 114.3, that's Mactan. One sec, let me see. Yeah, 114.3 is the VOR. It doesn't seem like that's getting tracked though. Let's see here in VOR. Oh, there it is, 114.3 Mactan. That is working. Okay, cool. But it's just not listing here the identifier. the Mike Charlie Tango. Not sure if it should. Alright, but that's cool. And then you can set the course, I guess. So our final approach fix will be our course D046. So if I enter 46 here, will that work? Oh, that does work. Nice. So you can do a VOR approach in this plane as well. Not only an RNAV or an ILS. Cool. Okay, that's amazing. I'm impressed. I am impressed. Okay, but aside from being impressed, I should be working. Let's do this. Okay, get back, track IR. Let's get to work. We are slowing it down. We are getting pretty close. We are turning final pretty soon, so we are like on a right base here. Set flaps to 1. Looking at the speed tapes there for indication if we are safe to deploy next level of flaps. But let me double check here. Performance approach, landing speed would be 150 knots, approach speed would be 155 knots. Can I automatically compute that? Not allowed. Okay, let's keep it there. QNH looks pretty dubious.
Cebu Air 5904 descend via the Drygo transition to 4,000 feet. Cebu Air 5904 QNH is 1011 at Mactan Cebu International Contact Tower on 118.1. Enjoy your morning.
118.1. Tower on 118.1. Cebu Air 5904. Okay. Tower Cebu Air 5904 inbound for the RNAV approach, runway 04.
Cebu Air 5904, good morning. Radar contact. Continue RNAV to runway 04, call when established on final.
Continue RNAV to runway 04, will call when established on final, Cebu Air 5904.
Cebu Air 5904, maintain 2,400 feet.
2,400 feet. Yes. That is looking pretty good actually. Because here on this waypoint, Victor Mike 04 Alpha, we should be at 2,400 feet, which is exactly what is being planned here. And that is exactly what the plane is following as well. That is following those altitudes to the letter. That is amazing. Cool. Okay. Now I have to give a bit of warning, guys. I do not fly airliners much, as you guys might know. So my landings, please don't expect much. I have a bit more experience on the GA planes. That means my flare is a bit on the excessive side. So yeah, please don't hate me. So with this one, should we turn on landing skills? I'm still not sure. Yeah, I'll turn it on just to be on the safe side. Because I do see a glide path there. Not a glide slope because it's not triangle or not diamond. Follow approach here. Cat 3 single. I'm not sure if that is accurate. It shouldn't capture localizer because there should be no localizer here. But fine. Let's go ahead and deploy our landing gear. Actually, I set that's flaps. Landing gear, there we go. That's what I like. That's something new, I think. The red blinking lights until your landing gears are all good. And then they're all green there and there. Pretty nice. Okay. Where's the runway? You guys see it? There it is, right in front of us. Alright. Once we cross this one, this waypoint, that should be captured in the glide path. There it is. So if I turn off the landing scales, there it is, still is. Okay, good. Let's turn on that one then again. So that's the glide path. We don't need the landing scales for this, I think. Okay, good. Let's keep that going. Now I am waiting for the landing memo. That's always cool here. I think that triggers when you're below 2,000 feet above ground. Now that is bugged. We have captured the glide path, but that indication should be in the middle. Oh, there it is. Maybe you should need landing skills. Okay, let's keep that in then. Alright. Flaps 3. Slow it down. So we slow down to our approach speed. Speed check. Full flaps. There's the landing memo. See it? Spoilers, arm, and cabin crew. Oi! What's happening? Might have flicked the throttle, very sensitive. Might have gone out of auto thrust there. My bad. We're back.
Camera crew, please take your seat for landing.
Something to balance out the wonkiness. But that was all on me. While we oversped, I think I hit the throttle, my physical throttle, and we went away from the auto thrust, the managed speeds. Okay, looks good. Check. Turn off the autopilot in here. Wish me luck, guys. I'll need it. Now, I have to remember not to flare too much. Man, I love the approach here to Cebu. Looks beautiful, all the trees,
Cebu Air
buildings.
594 winds are light and variable, clear to land runway 04.
Oh, we did not report that we're established. Thankfully, we got cleared. Clear to land runway 04, Cebu Air 594. Okay, that looks good though. Let's keep it going. So you guys let me know if you should have the landing skills on when you are on RNAV approach. I thought you didn't need it, but maybe it's different on the plane, or I remember differently. Let's descend a bit up more steeply here. There you go. Just catch up to it. You see the landing inhibit memo, the purple thing on the ECAM. It's new as well. Oh, we're going beyond. It's fine.
60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
Good.
5.
That didn't seem too good, but okay, I'll take it.
Cebu Air 594 exit runway when able.
Reversers. Auto brakes are kicking in, that's good. Reversers off. Remove the auto brakes and let us turn off the runway here. I will take that landing. I did not expect too much to begin with, so thank you. Alright. Let's go flaps up, clean up the plane. Clear of active Cebu Air 594.
Cebu Air 594 contact ground on 121.8. Have a good stay.
Alright, let's turn off the ATC here. Don't think I want any additional guidance. Let's just look for a parking area that's nearby. Turn off our landing lights here. That's going to be a bit blinding. Taxi lights instead. This might work for us actually. Let's try to turn off here. Will that work? Let's see. So all in all, very impressed. Still quite a few tweaks needed, I guess. And I probably am not the perfect pilot for this anyway, so I probably missed a couple of important things. Oh, there's a guy there leading us in. See him? He said, don't follow the arrow, follow me. There we go. See it straight. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the altitude planning here. The VNAV basically works. It's amazing. Any more? Good. Come on. Stopping anytime soon, maybe? Well, I can't see you anymore. Still wants us to go. I saw a couple of screenshots like this in the flight sim forums, where the marshaller is a bit too clingy. Yeah, case in point. Yeah, a bit on the clingy side, I think. Alright, let's leave that be. Let's chalk that up to the sim messing with us. Okay, parking brake is set. The takeoff memo has been started again. That's a bit weird. That's fine. We forgot to turn on the APU. That's okay. We'll take care of it. But yeah, I'm very impressed. Happy with the changes. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, looking forward to your feedback and comments, your help. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Clumsy flying, everybody. Catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.